I am back with another book haul because even though I am not supposed to be buying books at the moment, I still managed to accumulate them at a very speedy pace. I'm not sure how this happened. I have definitely gone over my book buying limit that I set for myself, only by a couple of books, so it's not horrendous. I just found some really good deals in the charity shops, and so I had to get my hands on some books. So I will start with the books that I got from the library because this is partly a library haul, and then I will tell you about the books that I bought for myself. Okay, so library books first. Starting off, we have Winter Garden by Kristen Hanna because I am doing a part 2 of my Kristen Hanna project where I read a bunch of her books and decided which one I thought was best. She has released about 30 or something books, which is ridiculous, and I obviously didn't read them all in my part 1 video, so I'm going to read another bunch, and this is the first one from that list. I also hope to read The Women maybe in March, but I don't own that one yet, so I can't get to it anytime soon. So this one is another historical fiction book, I believe. It says here that it's about two sisters who are very different. It's a haunting and compelling novel illuminating the intricate mother-daughter bond and the enduring links between past and present. I really enjoy Kristen Hanna's writing, so I feel like I'm going to really like this one. My hold for Lilith also finally showed up. I requested this one back in October, I think, and that is probably the longest I've ever had to wait for a hold. I don't know if people just weren't returning this one or if it went missing, they had to reorder a copy, I don't know. This is about Lilith from the Old Testament. In the Garden of Eden, at the beginning of time, an outrageous lie is born that women are inferior. Lilith is the heroine women have waited 6,000 years for, so I think it's just Lilith's story and about how she got banned from the Garden of Eden. I haven't heard amazing things about this one, but I've not really heard many things at all, so I'm not really put off by not having heard too many things. I think it sounds really interesting, so I'm gonna pick that one up. I also picked up the Providence of Fire, which is the sequel to The Emperor's Blades, which I read in January and really enjoyed. I don't know if I enjoyed it enough to buy the entire series though, and I was really surprised that my library system had it because it doesn't always have big fantasy releases. So I'm very pleased to have found this. In this series, it follows 3 siblings who are the children of the emperor. They have been sort of sent out to different parts of the continent for various reasons. The heir, for example, is training in a monastery. Another son is training to be a soldier, and there is a daughter as well. And at the beginning of the first book, the emperor is killed, and so a band of people have to go over to the monastery to go and get the heir. But you know, things are going to go wrong. It seems as though someone may be after the children. So I don't know what's going to happen in this one. Some things were set up in the first one that I am very interested in. Looking forward to getting to this one soon. I also picked up The Principle of Moments. This is a YA sci-fi book, and it's basically about time travel. So this is set in 6066 and also 1812. It says here that the citizens of this empire settled on a desert planet. The main character Asher knows that she's just another voiceless cog working the assembly lines that fuel the emperor's vast imperial war machine. Her life changes in an instant, and then back in 1812, the guy, Obi, is done with time travelling. He hears about the ghost of a girl in the British Museum, a girl from another time. A couple of my friends have read this one recently and really enjoyed it, and I did start it, but I thought that I would enjoy it more as a physical book because I was reading it on my e-reader, so I picked it up from the library, and I'm really glad that it came in so soon, actually. I didn't have to wait long for this one at all. Another new release that I picked up is Voyage of the Damned. This was, I think, on one of my new releases videos, most anticipated new releases videos, so this is cool. So this is a fantasy book set on a ship, and I believe the heirs to various kingdoms are on this ship. They all have like a blessing, except the main character doesn't, and then there's a murder, so it's a bit of a murder mystery fantasy book, which I really enjoy. So I'm looking forward to reading this one, hopefully sometime soon. I may have already read it by the time you're watching this, but no guarantees. And then as part of a project that I don't really want to talk too much about in case I'm wrong, or it doesn't happen, so just know that it's like a secret project and it's really not that exciting. I picked up Tom Lake, which I've been seeing everywhere but haven't actually heard what it's about, so let's see. This is a story about Peter Duke, who went on to be a famous actor. This is a story about falling in love with Peter Duke, who wasn't famous at all. Tom Lake is a meditation on youthful love, married love, and the lives parents lead before their children are born. So a bit of a different book from me for this one, but I'm looking forward to reading it. And then finally, my last library book is Night Bloom. I don't know what this one is about at all, so again, let's discover that together. It says here that 2 cousins are growing up in the same Ghanaian town. They're best friends, the girls share everything, but as they enter their teens, one of them begins to change and constructs a wall around herself designed to keep everyone away. Soon, Akorfa no longer recognises her sullen, withdrawn cousin. So I think this is a story about female friendship. There's probably some trauma in there as well, it sounds like, so I'm looking forward to reading this one as well. So that's it for my library holds. I'm really pleased that my library has all of these, and I'm really happy to be supporting my local library as well and showing the Tories that they are necessary and that they should give them more funding. And now onto my books that I bought for myself. Starting off, we have House of Flame and Shadow. This was a pre-order that came in. Everyone knows what this is. It's the third Crescent City book, and I read it and I gave it like 2.5 stars, something like that. I'm going to record my review and my thoughts on this, and it may already be up by the time this book haul goes up. So if it is, I will leave it linked. If not, then it should be out soon. Another pre-order that came in that I haven't read yet as of the time of recording this is Happiness Falls by Angie Kim. This is her second book, and I really enjoyed her first one, Miracle Creek. I gave 5 stars. It was honestly incredible. So this one is like a literary mystery sort of book. The main character is mixed race. She is Korean and white. She is Korean American as well. One day her dad goes missing, and the only person who could know where her dad is the main character's neurodiverse brother. I can't remember if it says exactly what he's diagnosed with, but it does say that he's non-speaking, so obviously it's a bit of a struggle to find out where her father is. So it's kind of a mystery book and kind of a literary fiction novel. I have such high hopes for this one, and I hope I love it. I really think that I will. I also picked up The Tyranny of Faith by Richard Swan. This is the second book in the Empire of the Wolf series. The first one is The Justice of Kings. I really enjoyed that one. I did prefer the audiobook narration, and I think I bumped it up to 4 stars because of that. I had some issues with the way female characters were represented in the first book, and I really hope this one is better. I have all of my fingers crossed because I think this one has real potential, and I just hope it's not disappointing. And then I made some charity shop purchases. Most of these books were under £5. Most of them were actually £1. First of all, I found volume 2 of Monstrous. I've already read this one, so it's not adding to my TBR. I read this one last year during my 29 books in 29 days challenge. I've decided that I really need to reread the first 2 volumes in this series before carrying on with it, and I found this in the charity shop, so really pleased to have gotten my hands on this one. At the same charity shop, I found a hardback of The Rise of Kyoshi. This is one of the Avatar: The Last Airbender books, and I'm a massive fan of the show. And I previously wasn't too interested in reading the books, but I've heard really good things about this one from fans of the show, and also it was in the charity shop, so I decided to buy it. Also in the charity shop, I found The Shadow of the Gods by John Gwynne. This is a fantasy book, an epic fantasy book. It's Norse inspired, it says. It doesn't really say anything else, which is really annoying. I hate it when blurbs do that, and they only include like author blurbs and don't actually tell you a synopsis of the book. It just says that it's packed with myth, magic, and bloody vengeance, so I hope it's good. I also found The Old Drift for £1, and I was eyeing this one up for so long from Waterstones. They always have it displayed like front and centre in the sci-fi section, but I've just never picked it up, and I'm quite glad that I didn't because I found this so cheap. It says that this is the winner of the Arthur C. Clarke Award. It says here that this novel begins a cycle of unwitting retribution between 3 Zambian families as they collide and converge over the course of a century into the present and beyond. It also talks about 1904, so I think this must be some sort of historical fiction sci-fi sort of book, I suppose. I'm beginning to question whether it's even sci-fi, but it was definitely in the sci-fi section at Waterstones unless they got it wrong. I'm really excited to read it at some point, but it's huge, so it may not be anytime soon. I also found, really excitingly, Unwind and Unsold in the charity shops as well. So I used to own these in the old editions, and I think I probably gave them away when I moved out of my granddad's house, but I found these in the charity shop, and I'm so glad I did because I need to reread these 2 books and the third one before I finally finish off this series, and now I can actually do that this year now that I own these, so I'm really excited. So these are by Neil Shusterman, who is obviously perhaps the author of Scythe, and his dystopian books always follow very interesting topics. So in the world of Scythe, for example, humans have conquered death, and he's kind of talking about how that could affect the human race possibly. And in this one, it's a dystopian book set in the United States, and abortion has been banned entirely, at least pre-birth abortion. What is allowed in this world is unwindings, which basically means before the child hits 16, or as the child hits 16, I can't remember, they can be put forward by their parents or guardians to go through an unwinding where their bodies are basically donated to people in need. And it's actually quite horrific, and I think he's honestly a fantastic writer, and I can't wait to re-explore this world and read about this topic again because obviously it's very topical right now. I don't really know what else to say. I'm looking forward to it. And finally, the last 2 books I got are part of the same series. I got The Dark Forest and Death's End, which is annoyingly in a different cover style than this book. These are books 2 and 3 in the 3 Body Problem series. I don't know what it's called. I'm not going to tell you what it's about because I don't actually know, but I do own the 3 Body Problem already, and I really want to read it before the show or film comes out. I don't know when that is, so I need to hurry up and get to it soon, and then possibly do a recap of the first 2 books. So that's my goal for the coming month, I would say. try to read through this series. I've heard it's fantastic. It's a sci-fi series and I know nothing about it because I've been told that it's better to go into it not knowing anything, so that's what I'm doing. And with that, that is the end of my book haul. I'm really excited for all of these. Actually, I don't feel like I've made any random purchases. I have been quite thoughtful about what I've been buying and what I've been acquiring from the library as well. I'm going to try not to buy any more books anytime soon because I really do need to whittle down my TBR, make some space on my bookshelves, and the only way to do that is to read or to unhaul some books. I think I'm at -3 on my book allowance, so I do need to read probably 9 books from my own TBR or unhaul them before I can buy any more. So I'm going to try my best to stick to that. There aren't any new releases that I'm dying to get to, and if I am, or if there are, then I can get them from the library, I think. So no more books now, or no more buying books until I've managed to catch up again. But that doesn't stop me from going to the library because I do want to support my local library and also get my hands on some new releases if they're relevant, so I might as well utilize the library. Let me know what books you've bought recently. Let me know if you've read any of these and what you think of them. Thank you for watching, and I'll be back soon with another video. Bye.